Did I just brick my MPC 60? What the? Dummy. Yo, it's been scary hours around here, y'all. I literally thought I bricked my MPC 60. I know this part 2 was supposed to be a triumphant return with all the upgrades, everything working out perfect. I had the expanded memory, the SCSI expansion with an SD card reader, and the new OS 3.15B or BF. I can't remember which one it was, but didn't quite work out that way for me, y'all. Didn't quite work out that way for me at all. Started out, I ordered the 3.15 OS. Got it, put the EPROMs in, nothing. I know the little notch or the pin on the first pin. I know all about that. I started out, my first tech job was soldering Palm Pilots, and that's dating myself. But we used to fix those, so I used to have to solder those little small components on those little small PC boards. And that's the precursor to all the modern smartphones. It was like a little pocket assistant, I think they used to call it. It's precursor to the BlackBerry. I used to repair those, so I know how to solder. So I know all about replacing that type of stuff. I have a technical degree. I'm an engineer, so I know about replacing stuff in the machines, especially these older machines. When I used to repair computers too, back in the day. Back when it was more cost effective to fix a computer as opposed to just buying a whole new one, which I think is the concept right now. So got the EPROMs in, powered it up, it said nothing. So I'm like, oh, what's going on? I pulled them all out, checked them again, put them back in. Nothing, just blank screen. So I'm like, oh, I bricked my MPC 60. Like literally, I was about to cry. I can't remember the last time I cried. Man, I'm in here like I was in my office all day. The kids got home from school. You know, wow, how y'all doing? How was y'all day? Neglected all my real work for that day that I make money on making my apps, and I had some big updates. Updated my most popular game, Big Wiz, and I have a lot more errors than I usually have, so I had to work through both of those at the same time. I broke my moneymaker game, and then I broke my MPC 60, so just a sad day. So I regrouped that morning, I wake up, I come down, you know, I check my numbers from the previous day for my real job. I'm like, I neglected that a little bit, I shouldn't, but I get right back on the MPC 60 and I look, it had a blown fuse. So I go to Menards, I get a new fuse, get it in. Same thing, so I put the old OS back in, worked perfect. Took that out, put the new one back and forth. I end up breaking some pins on the new ones. I didn't have the EPROM remover. I couldn't find it anywhere. I thought it was with all my soldering stuff, my multimeters. Couldn't find it, so I had to order that and wait. So I got the puller, so I switched them out a couple more times. I saw like the pins on the working OS were getting a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Malleable. They were bending a lot easier now and coming in and out slightly easier. So I'm like, I gotta stop this. So go do some more research. I found the 310s directly from Roger Lynn's website, and he explained to me, and he does answer all the emails on there too. So he said the B in the 315B means beta, you know, and as a program, I know that's usually software is close to being finished, but not quite. You send it out to testing, and that's when you get your bug reports, your quality assurance or quality control. So he says that's what that indicates. He said, I don't know though. I'm not, you know, speaking on anyone else's software. This is just how I see it. So I ordered the 310 from him. I get it. His instructions are like, when you got the first ones, it just gave you basic like tell you where to notch at in the pins and how they should face, but it has detailed instructions on how to open it, where to put them, what it should say. Get those, put them in. It says, sorry, this, I can't remember exactly what it says, but 6F error or 6806H error. I'll cut it off, cut it back on. Then it says MPC 60 BIOS, gives a date 3/23/96. But it wouldn't go any further. Cut it off and on again. Stuck on the sorry, some bugs in the software. So I emailed them again. I'm like, hey, this is my deal. This is what's happening. I told him both of the messages. He's like, well, I test them before I send them out. I could send you another pair. We could switch them out. And if that don't work, then I'll just refund you. Really nice guy, actually. I asked him about how do you feel about the Rosen machines, the SP1200, and why don't he do any other older machines just like that? And he says he's not interested in rehashing the past, and he don't own it. That's a Kai who own it. But I'm thinking like that was Emu Systems, and then Newmark, I think, or M-Music, that owns the old SP1200 name and architecture too. So I figured he could do it the same way, but he said he wasn't interested. But he said he does like them. He liked the sound on them. So I asked him a few questions and I left him alone. So now I have a conundrum. The memory came, I added the memory, it worked fine with the old OS. I can't do the SCSI interface because it doesn't work with the OS version I have, which is 2.02. And I think this has a 2.122. That's the last official software. But I'm at the point, like I've removed those original OS EEPROMs so much, I'm afraid I'm gonna break them and really brick the machine. So I'm stuck with just expanding memory. I'm stuck not being able to change the voice overlap. I'm stuck having to manually like cut those sounds down the hard way instead of the easy way, which I can do. It's a little time consuming. Sometimes you have an idea in your head, you just want to go with it. So while it started off as a happy adventure, now I'm at the point where I think I'm gonna leave well enough alone.
You know, for a dummy, you make a lot of sense.
I think I'm gonna leave it at with the old OS. Like I don't have a choice at this point. I don't want to brick it for real. I'm at that point. I don't want to brick it for real. So I'm gonna leave it stock with the added memory for more sample time. I can't risk like really breaking it. I paid a lot of money for it. All right, got another dumb story for y'all. So back in the 90s, my peoples used to throw concerts, and I was one of the younger, responsible guys hanging around, and I had a driver's license. So I was one of them guys that had the privilege of picking some of the artists up at the airport. I picked up Outkast. I met Big Boy, Andre 3000. Just like they seem in real life when you see the interviews. That's how they are. Met Scarface, 8-Ball, MJG. A couple comedians, Run DMC, Rudy Ray Moore.
Shut up. Shut your ugly old time ancient ass up.
But this particular time is 8-Ball and MJG. I pick them up from the airport. They want some weed. So we get to the hood, because that's the only place, my hood is where I know to get some weed from. We just riding around. We pulling up on frickin' weed spot with 8-Ball MJG right in the car. So I go buy them a couple 20 sacks. You know, they in the car, they blow the bag, you know, but we cool because, you know, it's the hood and I got driver's license. So get them to the hotel. The concert was that night. In the concert, you know, it was security there, everybody checking everybody. You hire the security to make sure. But in the middle of the concert, before MJG and 8 Ball got to perform, and I don't remember who the opener was. It may have been, you know, it's been a lot of years, almost 30 years. I think I remember Do or Die Twister, one of them. One of the Chicago people was the opener. But anyhow, a melee breakout in the concert in the middle of the crowd. Then we hear pow! So everybody scatter around, running in different directions. The venue's cleared out. Bunch of ignorant stuff, regular hood stuff. It shouldn't be regular, but it is. So we go backstage. We go to the dressing rooms. We making sure everybody all right. We find MJG, but there was no 8 Ball. So we like spread out like somebody kidnapped 8 Ball. So we looking all around everywhere. No security. Nobody seen where he went. And this was at Da Vinci Manor on the west side of Chicago.
Shut down!
So we start fanning out to outside. You know, the police end up showing up. Just some people milling around think the concert is still about to go on, but the police shut it down. And come to find out, like right across, it's a big street, North Avenue and Central right there. Across North Avenue, it's a White Castle across the street. And lo and behold, we go in, after we looked everywhere, we see 8 Ball at the table with some chicks eating a big ass plate of sliders, of White Castle sliders, man. Boy, we laughed, but we was mad, you know, because we didn't get to see him perform. You know, 8 Ball MJG was popping in Chicago. They were popping. Like that Space Age Pimpin', that first album is a classic. It's only like 10 songs. Mr. Big, Lay It Down not even on that first album. But that second album was good too, From the Outside Looking In. But yeah, we looked all around. We thought somebody kidnapped 8 Ball and was holding him for ransom. We looked for that man for hours, it seemed like. And he in White Castle with some damn chicks, eating some damn burgers. Crazy, right? Let's do this. Timing. Let's do 1/16 first. No triplets. That's loud. All right, let me see. Okay, 3 is the busy one. That's about as good as it's gonna get with this. I got a lot of noise in my house right now. Gotta get this done. So let me see. Step. I think it's this one. Last.
That's as far as I got.
Oh, what I could do is actually send it. I have to pay them to do it. Send it to MPC stuff, which is who I bought it from, and have them upgrade the OS. I just thought about that just now. Yeah. All right, so there's going to be a part 3 to this, but it's going to take a while. It'll probably be after Christmas. There'll be a part 3. There's this light at the end of the tunnel. There's a rainbow after the rain. At least I hope. At this point, I hope they can do it. Well, he actually sold it to me, so he should be able. He had the parts to switch some stuff out. So, part 3 coming. It's not the end of the world. Thanks for watching. I didn't even think about that.